UK time. Just here working on the Postie bikes. I've got a group of six coming down tomorrow to ride the Posties around North Devon. So mixture of on road, off road, gentle trails. Really got a good weather forecast for tomorrow. A bit wet today, but tomorrow is going to be much better. So yeah, I'm just here with the Posties, just going through them. Oil check, filter check, nut and bolt check, chain tension check, just putting a new tyre on one, which is really easy to do. We talk about how difficult fitting tyres to large capacity bikes are. Well, a postie bike is as easy as fitting a new tyre to a mountain bike. So really nice and easy. I just fit them V rubbers, which I put a three on, a 300 on the back and a 275 on the front, and they're about 20 quid from M&P if anybody needs any tyres. But the Postie fleet, so far so good this year, been pretty faultless. Obviously, with them being a slightly older bike, take a little bit more work. Which I think is, we had that discussion today with a couple of guys who came down to ride the CRF 250 Rally, the Himalayan, and the KTM 390 Adventure. They were either looking for new bikes or maybe thinking 10-year-old DRZ 400 sort of thing. But we had that discussion of, well, go for an older bike. In a way, it might be better, DRZ 400. But what are the lurking gremlins that might eventually strike, be it worn gaskets or seals and things like that? As a bike ages, more things need replacing. So you could. Is it wiser just to get something newer that's all ready to go? I think it's an endless discussion. But no, the guys came down today to ride the Himalayan, CRF 250 Rally, KTM 390 Adventure, and two of the guys out of the two favoured the Honda CRF 250 Rally simply because they felt it was more suitable to what they wanted, which was a trail bike, which it is. The KTM 390 they thought was a good road bike that could do a bit of off road. The CRF 250 Rally was a good off-road bike that could do a bit of on-road. Himalayan struck a perfect balance, and if they were going to be doing more road work, then that was what they would have chosen. But they were choosing for doing the TET, the Trans-European Trail, and so naturally, I think the CRF 250 Rally was the right choice. So we had a good day out on the lanes. Did quite a few little green lanes, a little bit wet on the lanes, a bit sludgy, which is good fun. It's busy down here in North Devon, tourist season. Obviously, nobody in the UK can go overseas really at the minute, so a lot of people are flooding to these typical tourist places to get some sunshine and get an escape from the city, really. Talking about posties, I guess that's um, what we like talking about. I mean, postie bikes has become my life, really. I think if I'd never ridden that one back from Australia 11 years ago now, I'm not sure what I would be doing. Probably working in a shoe shop somewhere. Instead, I've got 8 postie bikes and I've got 20 bikes now. But the news just in, which I don't even know I'm supposed to tell anybody this, but I'm kind of excited. And it might go flat still, but I think it's pretty much cemented in. But we're going to be getting the Dorothy Speed Shop down here in North Devon is going to be getting some CT125s. I can't tell you my methods of securing said CT125s because Honda Europe, in their infinite wisdom, have decided not to bring that bike in, which is probably the biggest mistake Honda will ever make. It's almost as though they're blind to the social media celebration of that bike and the furor, the amount of people who want that bike and the hype over that bike, and yet they're not bringing it to Europe, which seems to be a massive own goal. But anyway, so there are people smarter, wiser, and more organised than I who were setting about trying to bring some in from overseas, and so I've secured a few for the speed shop. Should be here for August. So the idea would then be for people to be able to ride the CT125 against the CT110, a sort of proper battle of the ages. You know, new CT versus old CT. So really excited to try that new one personally. Because the beauty of the Postie is the simple, reliable, tough, durable, and practical. They'll take you anywhere. It might not be very fast, but they will go anywhere you want them to go. Downside, speed. Going around the world on 40 miles an hour. Yes, it's great if it's scenic and beautiful and enchanting and the people are there to stop and eat food and things like that. But if you're on a motorway or on a fast day road, 40 miles an hour sucks. So the idea of a new one, a 125 that can do 55 miles an hour, that's like a revelation. So I'm really excited to be trying it, to get hold of one. And fingers crossed, you'd like to think if, because the company that's bringing these bikes in have already sold out how many they're bringing in, and it really shows that there's an appetite for this bike. So Honda maybe one day further down the road will get the idea that people want this bike. I think at the minute it's because it's not Euro 5 compliant that they don't want to go through that procedure, that expensive procedure to make it Euro 5 compliant, and so they're not going to bother. Based largely on the flop that was the Super Cub 125. I don't think they can realise why that flopped and why the CT 125 would succeed. But anyway, um, so hopefully Honda realise there is a market for that bike and ultimately bring it in. But yeah, so August, check it out. Keep an eye on the website. As soon as I get those bikes on fleet, I will be putting, well, simply the people already booked on will get to ride that as well as the 110s. And then I'll also be putting up some new dates to try and get as many people on them 125s as possible. So that's it. So I'm here for another few hours, probably through till midnight. I'm going to put the radio on. I'm going to make some tea. I'm going to talk to my posties, and I'm going to go through them one by one, give them a bit of a polish, bit of titillation, bit of lubrication, a bit of an oil check. Also got some of this. Some of this to put in RVS technology, which a gentleman whose name I've forgotten, I apologise, live on air. He sent me this to try. It's like an engine protection and restoration. Ideally, perfect for an older engine that maybe is a bit worn and a bit smoky. So maybe hopefully give it a bit more longevity. So you just drop it into the oil, run it through a few cycles, flush it out, new oil, and then hopefully it should have left a coating. RVS technology. So we'll see how it works on the posties. Because to be honest, they do take a bit of a beating by putting new riders on them. It's a to think that Honda launched the centrifugal clutch bike to make it easier for noodle delivery riders of Japan to deliver their wares. It notionally is a very simple bike to ride, but I think the fact that it's got gears but no clutch, just when you first sit on it, confuses you, because how can it have gears but no clutch? So what do I pull in? Do I drop the revs? And I think people just take a little while to adjust into it. So the engines and gearboxes probably do take a little bit more abuse than we would than I would like, but it is the reality. So anything that protects the engine is probably a good thing. So I'm going to drop that in and then carry on. So yeah, I hope everyone's well. Here in England at least, things are opening up, people are getting out and about. I would sincerely say get out and about and spend your money. If you've been sat at home on furlough or you've done well out of this lockdown, get out and spend it with the campsites, the cafes, and anybody else connected to the motorcycle industry, because there's places out there that are just gasping for your customs. So get out there, do some camping, even if it's camping down the road, just put some money in the campsite's pocket, because they've fought a battle to stay in business this last winter, and glad that most of them seem to be open. I mean, I've just done a Land's End to Johnny Groats run with 18 riders, and it was good to see the usual places are open. New sites, new cafes, new campsites have opened along the route. So I think there's a lot of people edging the bets that the staycation is going to be really popular this year, and people are going to, well, they can't go abroad, so they're going to have to holiday in England or in Scotland and Wales, which is no bad thing. We've got some beautiful riding, beautiful scenery. I was going to say beautiful food, but that's debatable. So yeah, enjoy your riding wherever you end up, and I'll crack on with the bikes. All right, take it easy. I'm going to figure out how to stop this now. There we go.